Hey everyone, it's Jen, and welcome to your practice today. Today's practice is a yoga for strength and endurance that's centered around preparing the body for pigeon pose with the possibility of taking the extra quadricep stretch. So, we're going to begin in the wide knee child's pose. So, if you have a set of blocks, I'd recommend setting those to the front short side. If you want to place a blanket beneath your knees, just set your blanket across the center of your mat. And so you're just going to take the big toes together, allow your knees to separate wide, and then you're going to allow your body to start to come forward. Just slowly bringing the body forward so that eventually the front torso releases and relaxes between the inner knees and inner legs. If your forehead easily rests upon the floor and that feels okay on your neck, you can opt for that. Otherwise, you could stack your palms and just provide just a little bit of height for the neck and head. Noticing the sensation of the breath as the breath draws into the body and then releases from the body. Taking another round or two of breath here in the center. Going to extend your arms forward by the ears. You can activate the arms by pressing into the hands, but allowing the wrist creases and the forearms, elbows to be elevated away from the floor. So as you spread your fingers and anchor your hands, you might feel the sitting bones sink a bit more toward your heels. Take an inhale and a deep exhale here. And as you're breathing in, we're going to start to shift the hips upward into tabletop. So you can walk your hands back a bit. Take your knees, line them beneath your frontal hip bones. We're going to take just a few rounds of cat-cow. So you're starting to synchronize the body's movements to the breath. So as you breathe in, let your belly release. Feel the center of your heart lift. And as you're exhaling, pressing down into your hands, taking your tailbone under and arcing and rounding through your spine. Inhale, releasing the belly, coming back into cow tilt. Exhale, activating the hand cat spine, tailbone draws under, chin slightly draws in toward the chest as the shoulder blades draw apart. Again, inhale, releasing the belly, so you take the spine into cow tilt. And then exhale, activating the hands, cat spine, press the hands down and arc and round through the back body. Inhale as you release the belly one last time, so cow tilt. And as you exhale, grounding into the hands and into the balls of the feet, floating your knees up, coming into downward facing dog. So as you arrive here in the downward facing dog, you can begin to gently pedal out through your feet and your knees. So just paying attention to the sensation that you feel through the soles of your feet, through the backs of your ankles, up through the calf muscles. Okay, and so we're gonna let the weight start to shift into the left ball of the foot, and you can allow your left knee to softly bend. We're taking the right leg up, down dog split. So you're gonna breathe in and send your right heel up to the sky. Reach long through the back of your right knee as you reach out through the crown of your head. You're going to exhale, curl the right knee in toward the chest to lightly step the right foot near the right wrist. So we're going to leave the back heel lifted away from the floor unless you want to modify the pose with warrior one. A little bit of a soft bend in the back knee. We're going to inhale, draw the arms into the sides of the body, press into the feet, and rise up into the warrior lunge. So feel your side waist lift up and out of the pelvis. We're going to take a few rounds of cactus arms here. It's going to breathe in. And as you exhale, let your elbows bend as you feel a light lift of your heart and openness through your throat. As you breathe in, you can let your arms re-extend by your ears. And again, cactus your arms as you breathe out. Let your elbows bend. Let the throat space be open. Inhale, stretch your arms up by the sides of your face one last time. So exhale, let your elbows bend. Inhale as you reach your arms up by the sides of your face. Exhale as you let your hands come down. So you're going to frame your right foot, step your right foot back into down dog. And then just take a moment, pedal out there through your feet and your knees. Okay, so for a more mild practice, you can hold for a few rounds of breath in down dog. If you want to include a little bit of extra movement, you can inhale and bring your hips forward and out into plank pose. As you come out into plank pose, the knees can be up or you can lower them down to your modified plank pose. Exhale, let your elbows bend as you begin to lower. So you can lower and hover or lower all the way. And then inhale, finding cobra position. So you just want to open across the front plane of the body as your hands and feet stay rooted. Exhale, down dog. So it's a little gentler on the spine to rock through tabletop and then lift the hips up and back. So feel free to take that as we go through that flow throughout the practice. So taking an inhale here and an exhale. We're going to now allow the weight to come into the right ball of the foot. A little bit of softening across the right knee. And you're going to inhale, send your left heel up into downward facing dog split. So really stabilizing through your hands, your arms, and your spine. As you're exhaling, curling your left knee in and lightly stepping the left foot near the left wrist. So keeping the back heel lifted, unless you want to modify, you can spin the heel down and prep for warrior one. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, draw the arms up the sides of the body, and let your arms extend up and along the sides of your face. So I often like to keep just a very soft bend in my back knee, just to keep the pelvis slightly drawing down and low ribs in. Sometimes if we straighten the knee, can take the torso forward. So just feel into what's best for you. Take your breath in, and then as you exhale, let your elbows bend. As you inhale, re-extend your arms back up by your ears. As you exhale, let your elbows bend. As you inhale, reach your arms back up by your ears. One last time, exhale, allow your elbows to bend. Inhale as you reach your arms up. As you're exhaling, let your hands come down, framing your front foot and stepping your left foot back into downward facing dog. Taking a moment, just breathe in and out here. And so you can always maintain here the downward facing dog. Otherwise, you can inhale and shift the hips forward. Knees up or knees down. Exhale, begin to bend the elbows. If the knees are up, shift a little more to the tips of the toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Thighs down, tops of the feet down, heart open. Exhale, down dog, either through table or straight up and back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, we're going to let the weight again come into the left ball of the foot. We're going to inhale, send the right heel up into down dog split again. So reach long through your right heel and reach long through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, curl your right knee in to your chest, lightly stepping the right foot near your right wrist, and then taking your back knee down to the floor. It's going to stabilize through your legs and feet. And inhale, reach your arms back up by the sides of your face. Exhale as you cactus your arms. And so we're going to take the inhalation to bring the elbows and the forearms toward one another. And then as you're exhaling, open the cactus arms back out as you lift your heart and take your tailbone down. Again, that same version. So inhale, forearms slightly together, a little bit of rounding in your back. And exhale, opening the arms back out. One last time. Inhale, forearms toward one another. Exhale as your forearms open back out. Inhale, reach your arms up by your ears. Exhale, take your hands down. So you're going to come to frame the front right foot. Walk your left hand a bit off to the left. Turn your right toes open to the right as your right hand comes up to your right thigh. And you just take the right hand, press gently into the thigh as you rotate the belly and the chest to the right. So be mindful of the bottom left shoulder. So the bottom left shoulder has a tendency to twist with us coming forward. So see if you can keep the left side chest open as you activate the right hand into the thigh. Take a breath in. Okay, and then as you're exhaling, bring everything back to the center. So heel toe your right foot in a bit. Frame your right foot. Lift your left knee. Step your right foot back into down dog. Now you can hold here again or let your inhalation carry your hips forward into plank. Knees are up or down. As you exhale, let your elbows bend and lower partial or all the way. Inhale as you take cobra, thighs coming to the floor, tops of the feet anchored down, and exhale, downward facing dog. Deep inhalation here. And deep exhalation, sensing the circulation of the breath through the body. So grounding into the right ball of the foot now and softening a bit through your right knee. We're going to inhale and send the left heel up into downward dog split, feeling a sense of lightness in the left leg as it lifts. Exhale as you're curling your left knee into your chest and lightly stepping the left foot through, taking the back right knee down to the floor. Feeling a sense of steadiness and stability in your legs and your feet as you begin to rise upward with your body, circling your arms up and along the sides of the face. As you're exhaling, let your arms come into the cactus position. As you're breathing in, we're going to bring the elbows and forearms toward one another so you get a little bit of rounding in your back. And then as you exhale, let your arms open back out. So you open through the chest. Inhale, let your elbows and forearms come toward one another. Exhale as you open up through your heart, taking the tailbone slightly down. Inhale as you bring your elbows and forearms toward one another. And then exhale last time. Open up through the heart, breathing in. Reach your arms up by the sides of your face. And as you exhale, let your hands come down, framing the left foot. So you're going to walk your right hand a little bit off to the right, maybe even off your mat. Turn your left toes open to the left as your left hand comes to your left thigh. Pressing the left hand into the thigh as you rotate through the belly and the heart. So be mindful because the right shoulder tends to want to come with you, but you want to see if you can keep the right side chest open. Taking a deep inhalation and a deep exhalation. Okay, just take one more breath in here in the low revolved twist. And then we're going to start to bring everything back toward the center. So left foot's going to come back in. Hands are going to come down, framing that front left foot. Lift up through your back right knee. Step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Right, so again, you can hold here in the downward facing dog or the possibility of another vinyasa. You can inhale and shift your hips forward, coming into the plank pose. Knees up or down. Exhale, begin to bend the elbows, lower partial or all the way. Inhale, cobra, thighs coming down, tops of the feet rooting. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in here in your downward facing dog. The hands steady to the earth, sitting bones rising to the sky. Deep and full breath out. Okay, last exhale here. As you're breathing in, look up toward your hand and adjust your feet to come to the front of the mat, a step or lightly hop forward. Inhale, hands on the blocks, the shins or the floor, lift your spine into halfway lift. And as you're exhaling, folding into your legs. So before we rise up, you might take your blocks and let them come to their highest height. Then you're going to breathe in and begin to let your knees bend as you circle sweep your arms out to the side and rise all the way up into extended mountain. Now, as you're exhaling, join your prayer hands and let your prayer hands come down into your heart while the crown of the head lengthens upward to the sky. We're going to breathe and we're going to let the right arm reach up by the right ear. The right elbow is going to bend so that the hand comes down to like the middle of the neck. So right around the 7th cervical vertebra, you can kind of feel that little knob in the neck. I'm going to hold the hand to that space and as the right elbow points up. Now you're going to let your left arm and hand lift up so that your left hand catches hold of your right elbow. You're going to draw your low front ribs in, and you're going to think about tractioning your right elbow slightly in toward the side of the head. So just a gentle tricep stretch. Press into your feet. Draw the belly slightly in. Take your last inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to let the arms start to slowly release, coming down by the sides. As you're breathing in, your right arm's going to go forward, up toward the sky. And as it starts to come back, you're going to let your weight start to shift into your left foot. As your right foot lifts, bend the right knee and catch hold of the right foot with the right hand. So the preparatory pose for the dancer position. So just starting with a quadricep stretch here. You can always place your left hand on the wall as well. If you like, your hand can stay to the outside of the foot. Sometimes I like to go over the top and then come to the inside of the foot, but be mindful of hyperextension in the right elbow. So left arm's going to reach up and then you're going to press the right foot possibly into the hand as you start to lift the right knee and right thigh and begin to tip the torso into the dancer position. You can always be using a wall support with that left hand. Take an inhale and an exhale. We're going to start to slowly come up. We're going to go into one more balance pose before we shift to the other side. You're going to start to release your right foot. Your right foot's going to come forward, right ankle across the bottom part of the left thigh as you start to bend your left knee so you have half chair. So this is where those blocks can come in handy. So start to tip your body forward, reach down with your hands, see if you can place the hands onto the blocks. So you may be able to go down to a lower height of blocks, or at your home, you can use a chair, the couch, the bed, the floor. So the floor will be accessible to some, right? So take a deep breath in. And a deep exhale. So we want to see if we can stabilize through the left leg and left foot. So we're going to come back up through that half chair position and then exhaling to let the hands and the right foot come all the way down. So you can separate your feet just a bit, heel slightly in and toe slightly out, and just give a little bit of empty coat sleeve sway. Okay, and then coming back to the center, just taking your feet back underneath of your frontal hip points, coming into mountain. Okay, so for the second side, you're going to breathe in and let your left arm sweep up by your left ear, allowing your left elbow to bend so that your hand comes down to the middle of the top of your upper back. And then you're going to sweep your right arm up, let your right hand come to your left elbow. Just going to start to draw the left elbow in toward the left side of the face and head. You're just stretching through the tricep region. So it's easy on this one to let the chest draw forward. You're going to draw the low ribs in as you reach up through the crown of the head. Take your last exhale here. Okay, and then releasing your arms back down by your side. Inhaling, let your left arm sweep forward. Stretch your left arm up. And then as the left arm sweeps back, you can start to shift into the right foot, allowing your left leg to bend so that you can catch hold of the left foot. So you can hold the outer edge of the left foot. If it feels better on your shoulder, as long as there's no hyperextension in the left elbow, you can always come around to the inside. So you can stretch your right arm up by your right ear, and we'll start to anchor the top of the foot into the hand. So you start to lean the torso forward, coming into the dancer pose. So you can always use a wall to support the right hand. Taking another inhalation and exhalation. And then inhaling to start to slowly bring the body back up. And then we're going to come into that second balance pose of half chair. So releasing the left foot, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh as you start to bend the right knee into a chair position with the hands at the heart. And so here's where those blocks will come in handy. So you can start to fold forward, gracefully reaching down. You can place the hands onto the yoga blocks, any of their heights. A chair or your couch also will work really well. Taking a deep inhalation, feeling your shoulder blades slide down your back, chin slightly in, and just feel your forehead soften. The last inhale and the last exhale here. So you really want to stabilize through your right leg and foot because you want to anchor down. Just start to slowly come back up with your body, hands coming to your heart, and then your arms and your left foot coming back down to release. So go a little wide with your feet and just kind of sway it out just to release any tension from your low back, from around your hips. Take a deep inhale and maybe let it go out through the mouth with a soft sighing exhale. Okay, so we're gonna start to come back here to the center mountain pose. So just let your feet come back underneath of your hip points. Start by stretching your arms down by your side, and then take your inhale, sweep your arms up to the side, reach your arms up, extend in mountain. Prayer hands coming through your heart as you bend your knees and fold your body forward over your legs. So breathing in, take your spine into halfway lift. And as you exhale, we're going to step the left foot back and take the left knee down again. We're going to go for that wide low lunge again. So left hand going off to the left, maybe off the mat, right toes turning open, right heel angled slightly in, right hand to right thigh. So this time you can stay here, same pose we've already done. If you want that extra quadricep stretch here, you can begin to move your hips back a little bit out of the low lunge. As that happens, bend your left knee so you rock up onto the knee and the heel draws into the buttock. With your right hand, reach back. So maybe the inner edge of the foot with the possibility of coming across the top of the toes into the outer edge. So you're going to press the foot into the hand, draw the tailbone slightly down as your hips melt a little bit back down toward the floor. So still stay engaged though from your right heel to your back knee as the hips begin to release back down. Take an inhale and an exhale. So one more breath in, and when we take this next exhale, we're going to slowly release the right hand from the left foot, and we're going to bring everything back to the center. So the right foot coming back to the center, hands are framing the front foot, left knee lifts, downward facing dog. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Okay, grounding into the right ball of the foot, inhale, left heel sweeps high, down dog split. Exhale, curl the left knee in, step the left foot through, take the back right knee down. Right hand going wide, left toes turning open, left hand coming to the left thigh. So you can stay here again in this revolved low lunge position. You might also take your hips, move them back a bit, start to bend the right knee with your left hand, reach back. So I always start at the inside edge of my foot and then I decide if I want to stay there, if I want to come to the top of the toes and then maybe to the outer edge of the foot. So you feel a line of energy from your left heel and your right knee into the center. You want to press the right foot into the hand as you twist. Take your last inhalation here. So remembering the slow exhale, the slow release of the hand and the right foot, everything coming back to the center. So left foot, heel toeing back in, lift up through the right knee, and then step the left foot back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. We're going to let the weight come into the left ball of the foot again. We're going to inhale, sweep the right heel up into downward dog split. We're going to exhale, be coming into pigeon now. So you're going to curl your right knee in toward the chest, right knee sliding toward the right wrist. So some people will have the range of motion in their hips to where their shin bones, right shin bones go all the way parallel to the front short side. So my heel is a little bit more lined up with like the inside of my left hip point. So the blocks can come in handy here. So I like to place the blocks beneath the hand. And then you kind of want to scissor the legs toward one another. So it's going to feel like your right leg and your left leg are drawing toward one another. That's going to engage from the root up. So you'll feel a lift of the pelvic floor away from the floor. And so you could stay here. You could take the block that's beneath the right hand. Sometimes I like to move it forward, make sure that it's on the mat, and kind of lean the torso forward a bit. You can stay here. You can bend the back right knee and reach for the foot. So again, you can stay to the outside or you can go over the top to walk it over to the inside edge. And then you might be able to draw the heel in a little closer to the buttocks, right? So take a breath in, soften your forehead, soften your eyes. Deep breath out. Deep deep inhalation. And so very slow release of the left foot. So we're going to be really mindful to let the foot start to come back down to the floor nice and easy. And so we're going to shift the blocks a little bit out to the side here. So we're just going to lean forward a bit with the hands. So we're going to press the back ball of the foot into the mat. Start to lift up a little bit with the left knee to slide that right leg back into downward facing dog. All right, from the downward facing dog, our last downward dog split and step through. So grounding into the right ball of the foot, inhale, send your left heel up into down dog split. Exhale, curl your left knee in and slide your left knee through to pigeon position. So remembering that if you have the range of motion for your shin bone to go parallel to the front short side, that's fine. Otherwise, you'll keep the heel in just a little bit. And so feel free to take the blocks beneath your hands and just get a little bit of height for your body so you feel your legs scissoring toward one another. Side waist lifting up and out of your pelvis, shoulders releasing down. So you can stay here. If you want to work with that quad stretch, you might first take the left hand and the block beneath the left hand and bring it forward. So you can just lean the torso a little bit forward, which makes the bind easier to initiate. Then you can begin to bend your right knee and reach back for your right foot. So if it bothers your right knee in any way, I would just recommend staying with the pigeon without the binds. You could stay right here, or your hand can start to come to the top of the foot and maybe to the inside edge. So if you're able to come to the inside edge, you might be able to kind of hold the palm a little bit to the inside edge as you start to roll the hand more to the top of the foot then. And then you're able to draw the heel down toward the buttocks, elbow point faces back, right side chest is open. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Okay, and then start to slowly release the right foot. Start to slowly let the right foot come all the way down to the floor. So you're going to lean a little bit forward with the hands as you start to shift the blocks out of the way. So pressing into the back ball of the foot. So lifting the knee and then sliding the left foot back. Coming into downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. You're going to lower your knees and take a couple cat-cows. So breathe in, let your belly release down to the floor, lifting up through your heart. Exhale as you're pressing into your hands. It's taking your tailbone under, arcing and rounding through your back. Inhale, let your belly release. Lift up through your heart. Exhale, press into your hands. Take your tailbone under and round through your spine. This next one is the last one. Inhale, release the belly, lift up through the heart. And as you're exhaling, pressing into your hands, taking your tailbone under as you round through your spine and coming to neutral. So just shifting your hips to the right or to the left. You can swing your legs around in front of you and bring your hips about to the center of the mat. And then coming down onto your spine. So as you come down onto your spine, bend your knees, place your feet flat, and then just do a couple sways of your knees from side to side. So you're just gonna release the low back from the dancer pose, low lunge with the option to bind pigeon with the option to bind. Okay, and so you can also pick up your feet, hug your thighs in a bit toward your ribs, and maybe stack your ankles over your knees. Take happy baby pose for a moment. Take a last inhalation and exhalation. Okay, and then you can start to hug your knees back into your chest as you release your feet, placing your feet one at a time down on the floor, extending your legs out long on the mat one at a time, and then stretching your arms long by your ears, taking a full body stretch. Okay, last inhale and exhale in that full body extension. And then we're gonna let the heels go a little wider. So you can just separate your feet just a bit. Let your heels just start to drop down into the floor, toes falling open. Then we're gonna bring the arms down by the sides. Just turn your palms face upward to the sky. And then just let's allow the weight of the body to start to release fully down. Allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm as you allow the body the gift of the stillness of Shavasana, the final resting pose. Taking your last round of inhale and exhale here. And then allowing your knees to bend one at a time. Allowing your feet to come flat to the floor. And then transitioning your body over to the right or to the left, just rolling side lying. And then pressing your hands down into the earth. So you're going to come upward to your seat. So as you come up to your seat, you can let your hands come together at your heart space in prayer. The light within me sees and bows to that same light that exists within you. Namaste.